Good morning. Welcome to our Thursday morning practice. We're going to work in the first third today and do a 5 principles class. So we'll start with a first third just to do warm up, get yourself in the headspace, and then we'll work our way through focusing on each of the 5 principles. We'll start at Beautiful Lady's Hand and work our way up to Relax and play along. Okay, so the 5th principle is Beautiful Lady's Hand. We've given you the whole rap about the hand and the middle finger aligning with the bones of the arm. If you want a deeper discussion of it, Lee put together something a while back, so you can refer to that. But what I want to do is bring your awareness to the inside, the palm side of your hand. Not just the palm, not just the fingertips, but the whole hand, so that the inside of the fingers also are alive and aware and feeling the air. At the same time, the back of the hand doesn't have any tautness in it at all. So if I do this, I'm tautening my hand back here. Chengmen Ching calls out the hand and says the back of the hand should never feel taut. So you want a softness here, but you don't want it to collapse the inside of the hand. You want to make sure that the inside is still able to feel the air. So let's do another first third, and I might remind you about your hands as we go through it. So as you stand here, go ahead and let your hands relax. You might even just shake them out for a minute and just get them to release any tension that you might have in them. And let them hang, but do feel the space that faces your palm. And begin. Okay, now the wrist does bend here. It bends 5 different times. As it comes up, comes close to you, bends again as the fingers point up, comes back to the opening position. As you stand here, feel that openness. Feel as much of your hand as you can, not just the palm, not just the fingertips, the whole hand. And begin. Feeling the air as your hands move through it. Keeping the whole hand alive. Maggie would talk to us about feeling the air parting 1 millimeter ahead of your hands. So just like if you were in water, you want to feel the air and feel your hands going through the air. When your hands make the hook, it doesn't mean that you stop feeling. Feel the 4 fingers coming together to touch the thumb. Notice if you want to drop your pinky, keep the pinky until you're ready to let go of the hook entirely. And you can use that water metaphor if you were trying to swim through the air and your hands were too dead or cupped, it wouldn't work. So let them be open. Another image that might be useful is that of being a musician, say playing the piano or a hand drum. And you want the openness across the palm side of your hand and the palm side of your fingers. The hands are the end of the chain. You don't do your hands, your body puts your hands in the right place. and your hands express what's going through the body. Of course, the wrist doesn't bend. And you can imagine it carving a space through the air. It might make your hands tingle a little bit. That's fine. That's not something that you need to focus on or feel disappointed if it doesn't happen next time. Chungman Cheng said, sensations in your hands will come and go. Don't attach to them. But if you are feeling your hands a little more, that's great. So stick with that sensation while you have it and let it help you bring more attention and awareness to your hands.
And through the miracle of video editing, presto changeo, I'm here and Beth is behind the camera. We're working through Ben Lowe's 5 principles. We're working through them in reverse order. So the next one up is body upright. When we work on this, we're going to do a first third for each of them. And don't worry about the one you just worked on. We just paid attention to the hands. Your hands will do a better job than they did before you paid all that attention. But put all your focus on the body upright. So when you're doing this, body upright specifically is that the rear crown of the head feels as if it's suspended, not the center crown of the head. And so you can see when I'm like this, see how I'm thrusting my chin out a little bit. So I want to allow the head to rebalance around the rear crown. And then you're feeling that line from the rear crown of the head down to the tailbone, and actually having that be vertically aligned all through the form. So that, for example, when you do press into push, you don't let yourself lean back, and you don't come forward. Either of these loses body upright. So when we do another first third, keep your awareness in that rear crown of the head as if it was suspended, so that your whole body can hang down from it. And just everything, that's what you're doing in every move. From the beginning. So right away, rear crown of the head suspended. Go ahead and thrust your chin a little bit, so it would be the center crown. Feel what that does across the back of the neck. Feel that tension in the chin. Allow the head to rebalance. And now feel like the whole spine is hanging down to the tailbone, everything just hanging there. And keep that feeling as we go. Rear crown of the head as if suspended. The body is upright. Now when you turn and step, make sure that doesn't make you lean. Keeping the body upright. Same thing here when you take that step, body upright. Rear crown of the head as if suspended. Allows the body to be upright. making sure you don't lean here. It's easy to lean in shoulder strike. Rear crown suspended, tailbone hangs, body is upright. Body remains upright as you step, as you shift, and as you turn and step. Feel the connection from head through the open body down to the feet. Bubbling wells on the ground, rear crown of head suspended, body is upright. And close. Great. Beautiful lady's hand. Body upright.
Okay, next up is turn the waist. So remember, the movement comes from down here, not from up at the shoulders. The waist is this place back here. This is where you're driving from. That's where the motion is originated. So you want to become aware, like we were doing last week, of any place where you twist and pull the body off the center, and notice that feeling. You're not driving with your arms. The arms are the end of the chain. You're driving from here, and that's what's putting your arms where you want them to go. So turn the waist. And begin. You're going to turn the waist to get the hands moving. When you step, you're still in the corner. Square up by turning the waist to finish the move. Final posture is square, then turn the waist to go to the right corner and to the left corner. Now think about single whip. You want to make sure that you're turning from the waist the whole time, not from the arms. Turning to the right and then to the left to put out the hook. When you step, you're still in the corner, and you square by turning the waist to complete the move. I'm going to stop you in the corner. When you turn and swing your arm up, stop here and make sure nose over belly button, hips and shoulders in a line. Hands change, top hand fold, step. You have not turned back to the front yet. Now shift, square the hips, complete the move. Continue. I won't stop you this time, but it's the same thing, so be aware of turning only from the hips, letting the arm follow that motion, stepping while you're still in the corner, and then squaring up to finish. Turning to come to the left corner, continue. Watch what your belly button's doing. Turn, you're just to the right of center now, and you square up to deliver the punch. A little more turn, and sit into the back leg, turning the whole way. The turning is what takes your hands apart, and come back to the front, and close up. Turning the waist, keeping the shoulders with the hips. And even here at the end, as you sit to the left, turn to the right to turn that right foot, and then come back to the front. So, turn the waist.
And via the luck of the draw, I get everyone's favorite, separating empty and full. So, Ben would always tell us, separate empty and full means separate the weight, separate the muscle, separate the mind. Separating the weight is where we start. That's the straightforward thing. So take this 100% posture, either leg, and put your other leg out in front. And you need to be able to, without changing anything in the rest of your body, float that foot width of a sheet of paper off the ground. So that's separating the weight. Separating the weight is not, oh, I can get my foot off by moving my body. Separating the weight is going to the place where that foot floats or touches the ground, and nobody but you knows if the foot is on the ground. A lot of times when we're demonstrating in class, we'll make a bigger motion so you can see it. We'll pick our foot up so that you can see it. So do that, change to your other foot, all your weight in the back, the front foot, allow it to float just the width of a sheet of paper off the ground so nobody but you knows if you're separating it. Let it go back down, and now pick the foot up and notice how that tightens the leg, it'll tighten the stomach. So when we're doing this kind of separation work, just do the float barely off the ground. Don't do the big dramatic thing. And the big dramatic thing a lot of times can hide minor lack of separation, because when you do this, the contraction in the muscles here will be so loud that I won't notice that I'm moving my body a little bit. So this will feel like I'm doing a great job of separating. But if you watch carefully, you can see my body is actually moving when I do that. I need to keep all of this just in place. The foot floats. So we are going to do a first third, and we will stop and check the separation every place there's a change of weight. So do this at home along with us, and we won't be in class, so I won't be able to look around and say, pick that foot up. So you've got to do this on your own. Picking the foot up is nothing magic. It's a test. It's a test that shows you whether or not you've really separated the weight. Now I said separate the weight, separate the muscle, separate the mind. Separate the muscle has to do with this leg staying relaxed as it comes up. so everything is there, versus turning into a rod of steel when I pick it up. So again, while you're practicing at home, try to have the leg that you're allowing to come off the ground stay as soft and relaxed as possible. So, from the beginning, shift all your weight to the right. The left heel will float off the ground, your arms will feel a little rounded, and allow the ball of the left foot to float off the ground in place, 100% separated. Step, put the left foot down and pick it back up, 100% separated. Shift all the weight to the left, let the body open to the right. All the weight to the left means you can float the right foot in place width of a sheet of paper off the ground. Turn to the front. Before you shift, check that that right leg is still empty. And then shift 50-50. Standing up to an unlocked knee position. First one. Shift to the left, turn to the right, hands make a ball of air, right foot pivots on heel, and you know it is separated. You can float it width of a sheet of paper in place without changing anything in the rest of your body. Now go ahead and shift to the right. Turn so the hips are square to the wall you're facing, and the rear leg, that rear leg is completely empty. So let the knee drop, let the rear foot float off the ground. This is about as easy as it gets to separate. Turn to the corner. That left foot is still empty. You can float it in place. You step, heel first, and you can float it just before it touches the ground. This is where I would look around the room and say, come on, really separate. Continue. Ward off left, and relax into the 70-30 for a second. Making sure the waist is square. You can change your feet if you didn't quite get the width you want. This is as good as it gets. So relax in the 70-30. Continue. Turn to the right. Check that the right foot is empty. Step. Check that the foot is still empty. And shift. Ward off right. Relax into the 70-30. Turn to the right and sit 100% back. Waist is facing the right corner. All the weight is in the back leg. You can float the front foot. Turn from the right corner to the left and keep turning. Stop when the arm has swung up and check that your front foot is empty. Float it width of a sheet of paper off the ground. Come back towards the front. Still empty. And then shift, press. Relax. Ah. Push. Sit back, palms turn down, separate. Elbows drop into rear root. And all the weight is in the back. You can float the front foot. Push. Relax into the 70-30. Sit 100% back. Palms lay down. Front foot is empty. You can float it. Width of a sheet of paper off the ground. Turn. Check that the right leg is still empty. Drop the right knee. Let the right foot float. Really, all the weight in the left. Now shift to the right. Turn to the right, making the hook. Same deal. Drop the left knee. Let the left foot float in place. Truly separated. I look around the room. I make sure that everybody's trying to separate that. Continue. Turn and extend the hook. Check that your left foot is still empty. You may need to turn your right foot a little bit to make the next step. Step, heel first for a shoulder-wide 70-30. No weight. You can float that foot in place before you put it down. Continue, single whip. Release into the 70-30. Give that right leg a break. Lifting hands, turn, opening, hugging the big tree. Right foot is empty before you step. Step, lifting hands. Right foot is empty after you step. Drop the hands, bring the foot back. Keep all the weight in the back. If you can, float the right foot in the air, not touching anything. Step out, heel first, no weight. You can pick it back up. Continue, shoulder strike. Relax into the 70-30. White crane, start to turn, spreading the hands. Before you move the left foot, it's empty. Continue. After you move the left foot, it's still empty. Turn, drop the hands. Stop in the corner. Check that the front foot is empty. For real, actually separated. Front hand drops, rear hand folds. Front foot steps, heel first. No weight. Continue. Brush knee. All the weight down into the front foot. Pick the rear foot up, floating it in place. Replace it. Check it again. Shift. Play guitar. Before you move the left foot, empty. After you move the left foot, empty. Let the front foot go down on the ground, but don't shift into it. Turn, stop in the corner. Front foot is empty, you can float it. For real. Front hand drops, rear hand folds. Front foot steps, heel first. No weight. Continue, brush knee. All the weight into the back. Top hand drops, rear hand opens. Left foot pivots on heel, no weight. Check it. Continue, squeezing a fist. Rear foot comes up on the ball. Check that it's empty. Swing in and out, heel first. No weight, check that it's empty. Shift. Opening to the left, arms trail behind. Before you step, check that your left foot is empty. Turn the waist. Step with the left foot. Check that it's empty. For real, actually pick that foot up. And punch. Use the 70-30s to let the tension you might build from doing this work melt off you. Continue, waist turns to the left, left palm up under right armpit. Sit back, right hand slides over left wrist to cross hands. Turn back to the front, elbows drop in rear root, and the left foot is empty. Push. Let the tension melt off you. Sit back 100%, forearms extend. Left foot is empty. Turn to the front, pivoting on the heel. Left foot is still empty. You can drop the left knee. The left foot will float off the ground. Put it back down and shift. 100%. Palms up. Right foot is pivoted on the ball. You can pick it up. Place it. You can still pick it up. 50-50, crossing hands. And come up. Feeling the top of your head, feeling the feet on the ground. Closing, shift to the left, turn to the right, right foot pivots on heel. No weight. You can pick the right foot up. Replace it, shift to the right. Before you step, the left foot is empty. Step. The left foot is still empty. Shift. And finish. Separating the weight. So the trick with all of these is helping you all actually become aware of what you're doing. So conscious movement. This testing of the weight in the feet is a great, no BS way to show you whether or not you're truly separating. Now, I don't do the form like this. I don't come back, check, come forward, sit back, check, turn, check, and so forth. We certainly have known people whose forms looked like that from only doing the separation of weight. So don't go down that path, but you have to do the hard work of separating the weight. And the point to it is to make you really aware of where your weight is, how you're using your legs. So separate the weight.
Okay, and what it's all about. Relax. So all of these principles are components of what it means to relax. If you're relaxed, you won't have tension in your hands. Your hands are out in front of you, so you can notice if you're doing something wonky with them and come back to letting go. All the different aspects of it. Upright. If you're leaning, you won't be relaxed. You'll have to use tension. Doesn't mean that you have to keep being a pinball mind thinking about all these different things. It's a description of what relax is. If you're twisting, you won't be relaxed. So notice feelings of tension and let them go. That's relax. And relax into each leg in its proper turn. So relax. Begin. Letting go of your belly. That's one of the first places we tend to hold tension. You're not at the beach. You can let it go. Relaxing into the final postures. Breathing and relaxing, they go together. Notice if you're holding your breath. We often do it when we're working hard, so work soft. Very soft and very relaxed. giving in to the ground, suspended from above, and everything in between can hang and relax. You don't need to strive beyond where you're still relaxed and comfortable. Letting the movements follow the body in an integrated way, so there's no twisting or reaching. You're just going through space, comfortable, soft, relaxed. Even the punch is relaxed. Noticing where you might be creating tension, and doing less. Breathing, relaxing, softening, and letting go. Very soft and very relaxed. So, all 5 principles, I'll say them in order now. Relax, separate empty and full. Sometimes Ben would say separate yin and yang, as a reminder that it's not just about what's empty or what's full, but that they create a whole. Turn the waist, body upright, and beautiful lady's hand. In later years, Ben would say, there's a 6th principle. Must do all 5 together. That's what leads to relax. So you never go wrong paying attention to this stuff. And if you find yourself rushing through the form, pick one of these and pay some more attention to it. And that will help slow you down, bring you back into your body, bring you back into the moment, and help you relax. So we're going to keep this video live so that we can keep the chat live. And do pop up and say hello, ask questions, or make comments, or whatever you've got. We'll try and keep this active for a while so that if you've stayed with us through to the end, you can talk to us virtually.